Welcome back, governors. Today we're exploring the viral video between Mr. Salley and Mr. Yeager. Later that day, Mr. Yeager was in an accident. He was arrested. He's been charged. We'll be exploring and following the case of Jeffrey Robert Yeager later. You've heard the allegations. Now we're moving beyond the headlines and into the evidence. Joining us is Mike Salley, the target of Mr. Yeager's racial slurs. Together we'll examine what the evidence shows, what it doesn't show, and we'll let you draw your own conclusions. Governors govern. Mike, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your career.
So I'm a by the daytime, I'm a fitness director, personal trainer. More than likely, I think my career is more so about just making people better. Is what I would say my career is, most definitely.
Is that your personal philosophy on life, making people's lives better?
Yeah, I think it all goes hand in hand, right? So I think health equals wealth, wellness, preventative medicine, but working the spirit, working the physicality of the body itself, working the mind, hand-eye coordination, balance, a lot of things can go into that. But yeah, I think a lot of those things can just correlate overall to just being better.
Thank you for joining us. For those that don't know what's going on here and haven't seen the video, we have a condition where we have enlightenment over ignorance, love over hate. Tell us what transpired on that fateful day of May the 12th.
So if I have to say so, I was minding my damn business, heading back to work. So I get about a 3-hour break. So heading back to work, rushing, I had a session, probably like 15 minutes. So I was about to be a couple of minutes late. And as I am driving down the road, I see this angry driver really driving aggressively. Maybe about 5-6 cars back, but you can see that in the rearview mirror. So I'm just minding my business, but then somehow, some way, ended up side by side, and proceeded to call me the N-word multiple times. So I was confused. Just even talking about it now, I'm still confused as to why it happened, right? So yeah, I rolled my window down, just trying to see what's going on, and he just kept projecting to yell the N-word. And like I said, I think I graduated because it went from the NIGA to NIGDER, right? So it's not every day you get to get called the ER, but yeah, I graduated that day. So we were able to proceed and thinking I'm going to be able to just get out this way, but the man proceeded to still attack, started throwing objects, trying to swerve in and out to my lane, hit the car.
What was he throwing?
Honestly, I have no clue. Just objects. Something had to be important because he had jumped out the car at some point in time. So either he saved himself from littering or it was important. I'm not too sure.
Given his condition, it could have been his wallet.
It could have been his wallet at that. Yeah,
wallet, his car keys, his fob. Yeah, that really is funny.
And yeah, so that proceeded for 2 minutes of my life, which is really entertaining. But for the most part, I'm alive. I'll say that.
Okay, we're going to go to the film. Now, this film can be seen without censorship on Mike's platform. So the link is below. Visit it yourself. We adjusted it ever so slightly.
Look at this idiot here.
Yep. See, this is what I be talking about, people. There's some people who need Jesus in this world today. He's upset. You know why? He's in a rush. This is what I keep trying to tell you, people. Slow your asses down, people. Because you're going to have to deal with idiots like this.
Baby, neighbor.
You want to film me?
Neighbor. Baby.
I'm a beautiful one, though.
Fuck you.
Baby.
You really sad. You need Jesus.
Neighbor.
I'll pray for you.
Fuck you.
Baby.
Yeah, I'll pray for you, though.
Alright, you're gonna pray for me.
Yep.
But you're a...
Neighbor.
Don't change the fact that you need prayer.
Fuck you.
Baby.
Thank you.
You're the reason most white people hate.
Neighbor.
That's funny. You start to tan trying to look like us, though. You know you one ugly, evil person, right?
You're the biggest
You know what you look like?
shit.
You look like a
on
pink
the
penis.
planet.
You know what else you look like?
Neighbor, silly neighbor, silly neighbor.
Oh man, listen guys, don't allow people to, what's the word I'm looking for? Get under your skin. This is just the day in the life of these godless people. But listen, you guys have a blessed day and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna do that as I continue to get back to work. As you see, niggas are sweating. It's hot as fuck in this bitch. And niggas is driving slow. Drive safe.
Oh,
Talk
man.
about having a bad day.
It's a real bad day for him.
Yeah.
Better day for me.
And yet you stayed calm, cool, and collective. I gotta tell you, that's very cool. So in this video, in less than 2 minutes, we have Mr. Yeager, who found a way to use the hard R
Yeager.
14 times. Let's count these down.
Look at this idiot here.
Silly neighbor.
Yep.
Neighbor, silly neighbor.
You want to film me?
Silly neighbor. Neighbor,
I'm a beautiful one though.
Fuck you.
neighbor,
You really sad. You need Jesus.
neighbor,
I'll pray for you.
Fuck you.
neighbor,
Yeah, I'll pray for you though.
All right. You're going to pray for me.
Yep.
But you're a...
neighbor,
Don't change the fact that you need prayer.
Fuck you.
neighbor,
Thank you.
You're the reason most white people hate.
neighbor.
That's funny. You start to tan trying to look like us though. You know you one ugly, evil person, right?
You're the biggest
You know what you look like?
shit
You look like a
on
pink
the
penis.
planet.
You know what else you look like?
Neighbor, silly neighbor, silly neighbor.
This isn't just road rage. This is road racism. He's not enraged, but he's calculating. You can see him thinking. So this isn't some kind of a bizarre utterance. He knows what he's saying, in my opinion.
Most definitely.
hmm He's calculating. We hear his tone, and he pauses to think as he speaks. In some cases, deeply.
Yeah.
He takes one condition and thinks it through and says, "You're going to pray for me, but..."
You a nigger, you know?
So we don't have road rage insofar as he gets out of his car and comes after you with a baseball bat or, God forbid, a firearm. We had some things thrown. Do you know if he was throwing anything at anybody else, or was he just targeting you?
No, it just happened to be me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you just picked a card out of somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. But it was...
Were there other African American men or women anywhere near you?
I'm pretty sure there had to be a few, you know?
But you were still singled out.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't like the color white. Maybe he don't like white cars.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. So we have some things thrown, but once he engages you directly, when the video starts, all that we see is an emotionally unevolved, intellectually vacant man hurling racial slurs.
A child.
A child.
I say a child.
I like that.
Childlike.
Yeah. Yeah, you expect that, absent the slurs, you expect that from an 8-year-old.
Teenagers and
Okay.
you know?
Okay.
More like teenager like.
Why-
Go back and forth, bicker back and forth type of thing.
Yeah, I guess teenagers are like
Trying
that
to figure out,
nowadays.
because if you think about the thought process, how long it took him to even, you know, come up with words, it was almost like, yeah, here's my get back, but you're a fool. It's like that's the best you got,
Yeah.
you know, as you notice. So he had nothing to rebuttal, and I think that was a hard thing for him to do.
I think you're right.
Just get words together, his
Uh-huh.
thought processes. So maybe he didn't know he was talking about. Maybe he didn't have the mental capacity to even really understand his own words that he was trying to put together. 'Cause
That's-
I think he was
it's
battling
possible.
his emotion of what he was feeling that day versus here is my reaction towards just doing something I'm feeling.
It's very possible. Okay, folks, we're going to walk through this video with Mike. We have a series of separate and distinct incidents. And no one at any time, all that man had to do was shut the hell up and drive away. Mike was reacting to him. He wasn't instigating anything, although he does inject some very good humor into it. He really does. I mean, he should be applauded for that.
Look at this idiot here.
Silly neighbor.
Yeah, this was after the first incident that when I first encountered him, so I decided to just start recording.
Neighbor. Silly neighbor.
So I decided that I need to actually possibly get this on video. So I started to record and make sure that I can possibly expose this to many people who think racism is dead.
Did you have any concern about your welfare at that point?
Oh no. So I believe I would, I walk with my good Lord and Savior. So realistically, I feel that there's a force field that He's surrounded me with that keeps me from being harmed in any form of way.
You want to film me?
Silly neighbor.
Me literally trying not to hold my laugh after that. After a while, I was just like, so.
Did you think? Hey, did you ever think you were being punked?
No, I was just genuinely confused.
Okay.
I was at the same time I was actually just looking around just to really see if anybody else is witnessing what's happening right now.
And were they?
I don't know. There was some horns honking at the day, and I'm pretty sure they probably had somewhere to be too. So I was just more so focused on let me get enough as much as I can before I ended up start focusing on getting back to work.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Neighbor.
Decided, kill him with kindness.
You need Jesus.
Neighbor.
I'll pray for you.
Fuck you.
Neighbor.
Yeah, I'll pray for you though.
All right. You're going to pray for me.
Yep.
But you're a
Neighbor.
I think that's the best way to, treat rude, evil, things like that. So, send blessings their way.
Don't change the fact that you need prayer.
fuck you.
Neighbor.
At this point in time, we see he needs prayer. So that's why I said I'll just keep praying for you, man. Because what can you possibly rebuttal negatively to someone who you are being negative towards that still says they want to pray for you?
How do you think he received that?
Well, that's why he had nothing else to say other than, you want to
Yeah.
pray for me?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't change the fact that you're all right. You got it there, buddy.
I can't stop. Hang on.
Ooh, man.
You're the reason most white people hate.
Neighbor.
All white people out there, hope you guys know that this is the new advocate. It is not Trump. It is Yeager.
Yeager, the white spokesman. The white Spocks.
You know you one ugly, evil person, right?
You're the biggest
You know what you look like?
shit
You look like a
on
pink
the
penis.
planet.
Yeah, at this point here, I decided what was the nicest way to literally call him a dick.
Without calling him a dick.
Yeah, and the first thing that came to mind was pink penis, I have dogs, they're females, but I used to have male dogs too, and when they get excited, see a little pink thing that comes out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that's what he reminded me of.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
And I don't think anybody would really come up with anything fast enough after being called a pink penis. What do you say? I even think he wanted to laugh.
I'm surprised he
I
didn't.
think he really wanted to laugh because at that point he paused for a little.
Yeah, he does.
while,
yes.
so he's-
Yes. What did this man just call me? He's not playing by our rules.
I've never heard that one before.
Neighbor. Silly neighbor. Silly neighbor.
Yeah, at this point here, I'm decided I'm just gonna laugh. Just continue laughing about it, move about my day, help other people kind of just figure out, listen, we can either allow this particular situation to mess up the day or create a highlight to the day. So what added to that day, believe it or not, never in my entire life have I had a man approach me in a parking lot and say he liked my shoes,
Hmm.
and a lot of people like sneakers.
Sure.
Say he makes sneakers.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, cool, man. This is great. Maybe you can help me make some sneakers. And kind of find out he wanted more than to make sneakers. So he offered if I was willing to allow him to massage my feet in the sneakers.
So his foot fetish included your sneakers on your feet, and he was going to massage your sneakers
With the foot in
with
it.
the foot inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All in the same day. That was
You
right
lived.
after.
You had an interesting day.
It was a funny day. Yeah, it was a little weirded out, but
Have you trumped it since then?
yeah. Ever since my New York Knicks one, I have something else better to think about now. But yeah, it's still something I think about to this very moment. Like massaging feet within the shoes, I think it defeats the purpose of the massage. So maybe the person with the fetish is just getting off, but the person in the shoe don't really benefit from the foot massage.
And did you give any indications whatsoever that you were into this kind of thing?
See, that's the crazy part
Go,
there.
go on.
No, not at all.
Good.
Yeah, I think the sneakers I had on were pink. So maybe having muscles and wearing pink shoes. And I have nice legs, I think. I hope so too, guys. But yeah, I think him seeing the outfit, the fit together made him automatically believe I'm just like him. Yeah. I still got the thread and everything, man. It was because nothing in the conversation, like the math doesn't math because nothing in the conversation.
None of the math works.
Yeah, it was, hey, I used to be a shoemaker. Oh, that's awesome, brother. Like, for what companies? We ain't gonna list companies and things, but so many companies, they're well-known companies. I'm like, hey,
They
this
are.
is a great opportunity for me to come out my own shoe. And that conversation on,
But he wanted you in your own shoe.
yeah, my own custom shoes. Yeah, I thought he liked shoes so much that he wanted to take pictures of the sneakers I own, but yeah, he wanted to more than take the pictures of the sneakers. He wanted to rub them.
Look at this idiot here.
Silly neighbor.
How did you know to begin recording as you pulled up to him and he was outside of his pickup truck?
Oh, so this was at the moment after he started to throw things. So while he was in the middle of the street, just in case he decided to get any ideas, such as jump in front of the vehicle or whatever else, I decided, let me just get it on camera. There's no other way. Otherwise, I just feel like trying to tell other people about the story, right? We see road rage all the time, but this particular story, trying to tell somebody that somebody was just out there belligerently just yelling out, just ER. Yeah. Yeah, still. I didn't get my certificate on my I think I need to go for my graduation walk and my robe. And
We'll hold a commencement. Yeah, and
Yeager should give me my degree to let me know that I've graduated
Yeah.
to the new ER.
Yeah, you may need to do that in prison.
Possibly, yeah. That
Yeah.
might be a place.
Yeah.
Visitation
You can try.
with a prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go in with a prayer group.
He's really not going to like that.
No, he
And just
probably
tell him
won't.
I'm here to visit Pink Penis.
That brings up a whole completely different context.
It does. Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's been speculated by some that Mr. Yeager was chambering a pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Were you concerned that he may not only be irrational, but armed and willing to use it to threaten or, God forbid, to injure or kill?
No, honestly, no fear. I fear no man. Fear no weapon. No words will prosper against me.
Now, as of now, we haven't found any evidence that he had a firearm. Is it possible that given the jerking motion of the vehicle, that he could have been placing it into park?
No. I think that was him hard stopping so he doesn't hit the car that's in front of him. It was rush hour during that time.
Makes sense. So we have a crash. Mr. Yeager was arrested for suspicion of DUI.
Mm-hmm.
3 prior convictions of DUI. Refusal to submit for testing. And DUI with property damage. In all likelihood, that was the FPL piece. Although there's no evidence right now of him having a firearm, we're going to acknowledge that the incident occurred hours after his engagement with you. So we just don't know. And frankly, the discovery in this case is, it hasn't happened yet. So it may take some more time. We're going to find out if he had a gun. It's going to be in his inventory. There's no way not. Notwithstanding that, as I said a moment ago, there is a possibility he could have gone home and disarmed himself. being armed in that situation really is a stupid thing to do. The cops don't like that sort of thing, not when you're drunk. But you do think he was armed.
Oh yeah, most definitely. After if you really review the tape, and if you've used firearms, loaded them, things of that nature, there you kind of have an understanding of what that kind of looks like. So yeah,
And I'm a beautiful one. And you need Jesus, and I'll pray for you. Where did that come from?
Holy Spirit.
But you say it with such authenticity. You're not shoving him off.
Yeah.
It's very authentic,
Well, if you ask yourself, what's the reason of getting frustrated, upset,
right?
or feel any type of thing towards words that have no correlation to exactly who you are?
Mm.
So now me getting upset also makes it almost seem as if that's what he's insinuating I'm acting like, right? So what they assume or associate the word with, that's what they always expect to come from that.
And at no point does your voice tremble. It shows your level of confidence. It shows that he's a gadfly. He's just a bug in the purest sense of the word.
I hate bugs though. Yeah.
You hate
especially
bugs?
flying ones, yeah.
Yeah, flying bugs.
Yeah, I'm allergic to mosquitoes and ants, so he just reminded me of one of those things. But then I also believe in reincarnation, so I don't think harming another is actually good. I feel I'll come back as like a roach, palmetto bug, mosquito, fly, gnat, something that
It's
gets
really low on the bug food chain.
yeah, I'm trying to come back as a killer whale, something beautiful.
Okay, that no one
Something that
bothers.
you get what I mean? Well, there's poachers out there, but
Well, I'm
at
saying
the end of the
outside
day,
of
but
humans.
outside of the humans, it's
Elephants and whales, for the most part.
yeah, we're gonna have something out there. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there's some battles that we just have no idea what they're
Okay.
facing, but to us, they're definitely much bigger than us, so we just tend to assume they can hold their own.
Have you ever experienced this level of hostility before?
Honestly, no, I've dealt with road rage before, but I not to the extent of like that. So I didn't even think that even exists in the areas that I live in. So to even experience that, particularly on a just a random Tuesday,
Yeah.
just wake up like, oh, today's the day, and I'm like, I'm about to be called a. Any takers? Yeah. So it was just like, all right, still confusion, but then it took a little while just to process. But then I think when you move with the Holy Spirit, it again guides what comes out your mouth and moves you in the most safest manner possible. And again, I think people are again taught to react, or actually, we're not taught to react. I think it's just something that comes along with not understanding how to properly respond with situations.
I got to tell you, I don't think he was ready for your response considering what he thought your ego was.
Yeah, so I think seeing a shirtless man, who's in his car, I think I was listening to music too at the same exact time, so it was kind of like, oh, this is the one. Get this guy here.
What were you listening to?
Honestly, no, it was a YouTube video. I think it's still on my save playlist. I don't think I finished the video because I started to record though. But yeah, I be minding my business when I'm on the road. I just consume something to take away from the odd driving in Florida. It's really bad, real bad. I pray for the drivers every day. So
Now, Mr. Yeager may be a racist. If he hadn't resorted to the hard R, he calls you an asshole, a fucking asshole. You're recording me, but you're an asshole.
yeah,
It's not nearly as charged.
vulgar.
No, it's not. Would you have considered that racially motivated?
No. That's just somebody who's probably annoyed on the road who
Right.
has just regular road rage, that's what they would call it. But somebody who just seems to get frustrated when they can't have things their way.
Now, could you imagine him saying, just to keep this in context, could you imagine him saying, "You're the reason most people hate assholes"? It just loses all context.
Yeah. Wouldn't even be worth recording at that moment in time, I don't think.
Have you ever considered a dash camera?
Oh, every day. Every day. I told you that Florida driving, man.
Yeah.
You'll have people do some things you've never seen before. But then when you hear that most people get their license from a road test associated in a parking lot, it can't correlate to everyday driving and sharing the road with other drivers. So driving through cones, right, don't work because now when I gotta go on the road with other speeding vehicles and sharing, understanding the signals and all that good stuff, it doesn't translate.
Right.
So now you bring your parking lot driving to the regular roads and you have Florida driving. So yeah.
Do you drive in Miami often?
Used to. Glad I don't as often anymore. That was suicide mission, I think, on certain days.
But then if they swear at you, you may not be able to understand it.
Oh no, you understand it
Oh,
for
you
sure.
do?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
If you live down there long enough, you start learning these words after a while. Hand gesture means a lot.
Yes, the sign language. I get that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. Now, you and I have spoken a number of times before this interview. Really got to know you, got to appreciate you. That notion is why I'm wearing this jersey. Pittsburgh Pirates, number 21, Roberto Clemente. One of my childhood heroes. My mother actually knew this man. I'm not going to say they were friends, but she knew him. She knew Fred Rogers. She worked for the local public broadcasting station. So she interacted with these people from time to time. And there's something that triggered me when I was thinking about you that brought me to him. And its grace, its nobility. It was once said when reflecting on Roberto that he had a sense of nobility around him. He liked everybody, genuinely liked everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind. And he would go out of his way. Let's remember, he died trying to fly earthquake supplies, relief supplies to the islands. That's how he died in that plane crash. So that's significant. I say the same thing about you. The way, when you first start watching this video, I think most of us are waiting for you to snap. There's no snapping. In fact, you de-escalate. You hit him with humor. You're trying to find avenues to cut into his psyche.
Yeah.
Essentially to say, man, you're making an ass of yourself. Do you think your response has pissed him off? I'm being serious, though.
Well, before I even answer that, I'll just say thank you for that honor. You know, such a historic figure to, of course, be able to, be in the same sentence as that particular individual, which is a blessing in itself. So we definitely appreciate Clemente and his history.
I got to tell you, I think your friends and your coworkers would agree with me. I really do. I think if we sat down and pointed out the similarities, they would agree.
But yeah, I think it's just stems from, of course, shout outs to my parents, of course, with the upbringing. But I think growing up in New York City plays a role in that. Just
which borough?
Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island. Is that order?
Yeah.
Just having the blessing of being around different diversities, different cultures, learning more about people's backgrounds and upbringings helped you have an understanding of that. One, yeah, we all come in different shapes, sizes. That's what makes us unique. The difference is we still all have one mission, which is, to be kind to one another. We love them. We don't really have nothing to be angry about. I think we choose to be angry rather than just trying to find the positives in any negative situation. So,
and you're a very spiritual man, grounded in faith. That's clear the way you speak.
Wasn't always. Well, it's just something I think I have to work at. We all working at it. Real believers understand that we're not perfect. We make mistakes. We can always be better. Our goal in life, I think, should be every day is to aim to learn something new every day.
Mr. Yeager, I hope you're paying attention to this.
But most importantly, just trying to glorify his name by just moving like him as best as we can, talking more like him, and just trying to display that as best as we possibly can. We will never be as majestic as he was, but I do think that a lot of us have the capabilities to walk that path if we really truly desire it.
Now, with Yeager, how much do you think stemmed from racial animus versus intoxication? I'm going to assume he was blitzed off his mind just by the way he was behaving and speaking.
Yeah.
How much of it is racial? How much is the beer or the whatever he was drinking?
Well, I think we can all testify to the fact that alcohol played a role in the speech impediment that he was having at that moment in time, the words that were coming out of his mouth at that moment in time too. But the racial thing can also has to come back from, again, what was his upbringing like? What experiences did he have or did he go through that correlate to people that might look like myself? So we don't know that idea. But even with the ideology of just thinking about someone treating someone just because of the complexion of their skin is a very uh, insecure and confusing type of thought process to see color. And it's like when we buy a crayon box, they're they're not segregated as far as, oh, the darker to light, it's crayons in a damn box, right? So like they all correlate. You're gonna end up using most of them at the end of the day. There might be a few colors unless you just don't like darker colors. That's on you. But it doesn't matter. Color is color. It's how do we carry ourselves? How do we perceive the next person? Are we actually giving people that grace to really understand who they really are?
I want you to speculate for a minute. What if he didn't know you're recording?
Then I think it would have been a different scenario.
Do you think he
So,
would have gotten out of his vehicle?
if he was smart, no.
Well, he's not intelligent, at least when he's drunk.
Well, we know he's not that smart. But the
Yeah.
only reason why he did get out of his car, which you guys see, is he wanted to grab whatever he
I
thought.
think he threw his wallet at you and
But
didn't realize
you
it.
notice you can tell he never wanted to get out of the car. His whole thing was to just antagonize enough to again react.
Mm-hmm.
But he got a response instead.
Yes, exactly. You know, it's ironic here. My grandfather owned a tavern at one point in his life, at one point in my life, and he once said to me, I spent some time in his tavern, just walking around. I was to his knees, and he said, when a man is drinking, he tends to speak the truth. I can't get around that. So when I understand that he was intoxicated, maybe severely intoxicated, or under the influence of drug. I don't know what it was. I really don't. But it's obvious he's not in his right mental state. But I'm wondering if he was speaking his truthful mind, or he was just uttering nonsense.
I think he was expressing his feelings. That's how he truthfully feels. And I think alcohol isn't that they tell the truth. You just get to see the more realistic side of themselves. They're what they think about and talk about on an everyday tip tends to, I think, show itself there. And then I think a lot of people use it as an excuse for their actions. So him showing or saying racial slurs, he can easily just say, "Oh, no, I was drunk. I don't normally speak this way."
Right.
And you can be like, "Oh, cool, well, have remorse for that." But then it's like, realistically, we're in 2026. Those times is years ago.
Amen.
So to still be moving in that or even thinking in that aspect, or even just speaking that way, just and thinking you're going to get anything from that. The worst thing that would have came from that is for him, if that was anybody else, you might be 6 feet under. You might be handicapped. You might be a vegetable. Could have escalated so much further. So people have to ask themselves, are you willing enough to go down that rabbit hole and find out what the consequences are? Or live to see another day?
We want to know your comments on this point. Please add them below. Is it beyond the realm of possibility that he does know you from social media or somehow does know you from the gym?
No, it's funny, but police officers sometimes will see me walking by or wherever, passing by, and they're like, "Hey, man, aren't you the guy?" No, I am not. I am not.
I'm not that guy.
I might resemble, but I am not. Like, believe it or not, when I was in my junior year? Yeah, no, my senior year of high school, I was falsely accused of robbery and assault.
Explain.
So I used to have braids, and I used to live on the borderline of Long Island and Queens. So all people had to do was walk over a overpath, which is over the highway that runs there. And at that time, I believe it was the Nextel I-860, which I used to call it the Bugs Bunny phone. And during that time, there were kids coming from the next borough into Long Island to come to our school to rob people for that particular phone.
Oh, God.
So they robbed a middle school kid, because our high school was middle school and high school. And the only relationship that I had with the kid is that he was the sister of our starting quarterback girlfriend.
That's it.
That was it.
Hmm.
So at the time that the actual robbery happened, I was actually with my parents showing a house because they do real estate. Same timestamp and everything at the exact time that the kid was being
That's a
robbed.
pretty strong alibi.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough though. So I had to do 4 years of probation. Yeah,
Wasn't enough?
nope,
The state wouldn't drop it?
no, no, not at all. They just needed somebody.
A fall guy. And you
Yeah.
fell. As a reminder, Mr. Yeager's behavior is outrageous, yet karma hit him hard. Governor shit rejects threats, doxing, harassment, and attempts to cancel. Mr. Yeager lost his civility. Don't lower yourself to his level. There's little doubt that Mr. Yeager's actions were motivated by racism. Can we rightfully conclude he is or was a racist? What is your knee-jerk reaction or your considerable reaction to that?
I think it would be a majority of people
Yeah.
would say the same exact thing. Yeah, but
It's too deliberate.
too many times, unless it was. But then there's also the scenario too of, hey, maybe I just want to see what I can get out of this. So what if he isn't
So he was.
fully racist, but decided to say a racist slur to see if that would be able to get under my skin?
What do you think, folks? Please comment below. Now, we are closely following Mr. Yeager's criminal case. We ask you to subscribe so you don't miss out on any updates. When did you learn about Mr. Yeager's crash and arrest?
Maybe about 30 minutes, an hour into when I arrived to work. One of my colleagues said that they just seen a similar car to the video I showed them that crashed. So it's already on Facebook actually. So yeah, the internet works relatively lightning speed. So yeah,
How did you react to that?
just said that's the karma. Simple. Karma comes some way, some forms. You don't know when, but it will come.
Now, you know that Mr. Yeager has been charged with a fourth DUI.
Mm-hmm.
At least he's not an underachiever.
Some of us couldn't even get to one, so it's crazy.
You mean you don't even have one yet?
No.
Oh boy.
Crazy, right?
He's stealing all the DUIs.
We're gonna have to use him as a reference if we ever anybody
Yeah.
gets into that. Hey guys, if you guys ever get into that right there, guys, please be sure to tell your lawyer to reference Mr. Yeager. He has 4.
You know, it's funny you should say that, because if you take May 12th, all of your events we went through earlier, how many of those represent what not to do?
For who, me or him?
For him, not for you.
Everything.
Well, for him, and let's not forget the
Other ones
the
too.
pink shoe, whatever you want to call that thing.
Yeah. Honestly, man, there's no real way of knowing. I think you really have to understand his theology and his thought process. Why does he say the things he say?
I wonder if that answered any unanswered questions about what's going on.
I think we'll always have unanswered questions. It's going to be the unanswered questions for some people, even telling them that nothing led up to that scenario. But people always are, because you only going to capture from what was recorded, right? So things do happen prior to incidents, and then if we don't have no backstory, people are just led to make up and go with whatever narratives that they have.
Put yourself in the position of his attorney, Mr.
Well,
Ole.
I think for any attorney, like even the ones that got to represent actual people that committed any type of crime, any heinous crimes, anything like that, I'm sure it's hard for them to have to want to represent them, but at the end of the day, they have a job to do.
You have a job to do, and they keep saying that, one of our favorite sayings is you don't get to make up the facts.
Yeah.
But this one is particularly egregious, and I want to see what the state does with this material, because it does go perhaps to state of mind, to character. It goes to so many things, and it really paints him as ugly. Now, We have reached out both to Mr. Yeager and Mr. Yeager's attorney, allowing them to comment, allowing Mr. Yeager to come here and speak, allowing him an opportunity and to clean up his optics. We'll see where that leads. Further updates later on that point. Now, I know you like talking about karma, and I can't think of anything more karmatic than this ending with the car crash. Did karma come back and bitch slap him?
I think more like bent over, doggy style, hard thrusting is what he got.
Did it use lube?
I don't think there was any lube.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even think he cared for lube at that moment in time. He was wet enough.
Okay. Mr. Yeager is being charged with driving under the influence or impaired. He has 3 prior convictions. He has a refusal to submit to testing and a DUI resulting in property damage. The alleged victim there is Florida Power and Light. He's pleaded not guilty, he's waived his arraignment, and he's given the state and the court notice that he may rely on the insanity defense. Before we return to Governor Mike Salley's interview, we need to address a legal development in the Yeager case. I'm not an attorney, I have a JD. We're exploring this as a matter of legal scholarship. If you have a tendency to shout racial slurs while sounding intoxicated, enjoy crashing a pickup truck, being arrested, charged, posting bail, you should follow Mr. Yeager's actions and hire a competent lawyer. This is not to be construed as legal advice. Now, defense counsel has formally notified the court and the state of Florida that an insanity defense may be pursued. We've seen a great deal of commentary online since that following appeared on the docket. Some of it has been accurate, some has been not. Some is just foolish. Let's spend a few minutes discussing what the insanity defense actually means under Florida law. First, the filing itself does not mean Mr. Yeager has been found insane. It does not mean he is insane, and it doesn't mean the defense will ultimately succeed. It doesn't mean that the defense will ultimately be used, even presented at trial. It means the issue has been raised and may be investigated and may be presented. The most important thing to understand is that mental illness and legal insanity are not the same thing. Unfortunately, many people suffer from very serious mental illness: depression, bipolar disorder, PTSD, and schizophrenia. Yet, many individuals with those diagnoses still understand what they're doing, and they still understand the difference between right and wrong. When that's true, the insanity defense generally doesn't apply. Florida follows what is known as the McNaughton Rule. The legal language can be complicated. The basic idea isn't. The question is whether a severe mental illness or mental disease prevented the defendant from understanding the nature of his actions, prevented him from understanding those actions were wrong. That's the heart of the inquiry. Everything else is details. Second, voluntary intoxication is not a defense to any crime in Florida. A person generally can't consume drugs or alcohol and then avoid criminal responsibility by claiming intoxication impaired his judgment. That distinction is important because some people confuse intoxication with insanity. The law doesn't treat them as the same thing. Some attorneys have mentioned what's sometimes called settled insanity. That theory involves a permanent, fixed mental disease allegedly caused by long-term substance abuse. Even then, the focus is not on the drinking itself. The focus is whether a genuine mental disease exists independent of the immediate effects of the alcohol. That's a difficult claim to prove. Third, the burden belongs to the defense. The state does not have to prove sanity. The defense must prove insanity. That typically requires substantial evidence. That means psychiatric records, treatment history, mental health evaluations, expert testimony, evidence of long standing mental illness, evidence that the disease existed at the time of the alleged offense, the evidence that the disease prevented the defendant from understanding the nature or wrongfulness of his actions. The prosecution, of course, is free to challenge all the evidence and present experts of its own. He was then involved in a crash that resulted in what prosecutors allege is his fourth DUI arrest. None of those facts determine the outcome of an insanity defense. That decision belongs to the courts and ultimately the jury. But those facts do illustrate why any insanity claim is likely to receive close scrutiny. Because ultimately, the question is not whether someone was intoxicated, not whether someone was angry, not whether someone was offensive, not whether someone made terrible or stupid decisions. The question is whether a qualifying mental disease prevented the person from understanding what he was doing or prevented him from understanding that it was wrong. At this stage, we know only one thing. The issue has been raised. Whether the evidence ultimately supports it remains to be seen. And under Florida law, that's a very high hurdle. In Florida, involuntary intoxication is not a defense on any crime. If Mr. Yeager had some severe mental illness, but voluntarily consumed intoxicating drugs or alcohol, the state will likely argue that the altered state of mind was a result of the drugs or alcohol, not his severe mental illness. His defense attorney may then have to resort to an argument similar to claiming a settled sense of insanity. In that long-term substance abuse resulted in permanent fixed mental disease that exists independent of whether he was currently under the influence. Now, McNaughton is a strict all-or-nothing cognitive test. This is important to understand. It ignores a lack of impulse control. The defense must prove that Mr. Yeager did not know what he was doing was wrong or couldn't grasp the notion that drunk driving is wrong. Counselor, good luck with that. As I communicated in my email, Mr. Yeager shit the bed and he shit it hard. His optics are miserable, and I don't give much credence to an insanity defense here. But if you pull it off, mega kudos to you. Do you think Mr. Yeager is insane?
I think anybody that thinks insanity is something that correlates to his actions, then they would be insane, right? Because I just think what the terminology of insanity means, right? That's multiple, but again, doing the same thing.
Multiple times looking for a different result?
Right?
Oh, wow. I didn't come from that perspective.
Yeah, so if you think about it, how can you be considered insane? If you're insane, then maybe you shouldn't be doing things such as operating a motor vehicle, right? You wouldn't have the capacity to really think straight. Right? So we don't know what form of insanity you can go with, but wouldn't people, if we can just use fitness, right? For what I do with every single day when I do an assessment, the person coming in, sitting in front of me, telling me directly that they know what to do, but yet we're having a discussion about where their body fat sits.
Right.
And them telling themselves that, nah, they can do it on their own. But if I tell them, you do know you got yourself here. So if we continue to keep going on our own, don't you think you will end up in a worse position? And they will tell you, no.
Really?
Or imagine going to the heart surgeon and telling the heart surgeon, hey doc, listen, watch House for years. I can tell exactly how you do the procedure.
Yeah.
And you think he's not going to look at you as if you're insane?
Mm.
We might think that person's insane. And if they were really confident behind their ideology behind saying, I can perform the same tasks you have sacrificed so many years and have experience at doing.
I honestly love the analogy. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
We often in the industry, in the legal industry, we often joke around about Google searches in LA law, if you're old enough to know LA law, but, but things of that nature. And I never put it into perspective with medicine. But you're absolutely right. That really is funny. Did he appear delusional to you?
Delusional would have been a different action. No.
Because I don't think he looks delusional. And everybody I spoke to, and I spoke to a lot of people about this,
Yeah, I have to.
no
But
one thought he was delusional.
no,
He didn't think aliens were coming after him. He didn't think you were coming after him.
not at all.
He was there to make a point. He was there to get under your skin.
Somebody's here. It just happened to be me. So that was the blessing in
Mhm.
itself. Like we said earlier.
Yes,
Well, I didn't mention it, but
yes.
if you got to look at it, I keep telling people if it had to happen, it was blessing enough to be myself. Right? Somebody who's not out there with ill intentions or care to retaliate against
Right.
words. It's still words at the end of the day. So, like I said, if the shoe fits, then and you get bothered by what's being said, then cool.
Now let's talk about that. You and I have spoken about that in the past. The hard R. Are they fighting words in your opinion?
Oh, most definitely. You know, if it ends with an ER, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a fight on any block that you can go on to where the terminology itself would only come from a person with no type of endearment behind it, right?
Mhm.
So it's the intent of I want to make you feel less than. And
How
that's
about you? Go on.
not to like diminish the meaning of the word, but the way you can kind of look at the word is just like any other bad word. There's a lot of different racial terminologies for different races.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people actually don't even know the actual terminology for what their racial slurs is being called by others. So I think that's just something again that we just need to learn more about, and then I think more people just need to surround themselves around again diversity. Put yourself in a room with somebody that's completely different from you, come from a different background. Just have open conversations, or just start to learn more about these people.
I'm
But
telling you, just talk to each other. How about you? Do you believe Mr. Yeager appeared delusional in that video? Please post your comments below. In this scenario, again, I could see a lot of people snapping. Why didn't you?
like I said earlier, man, what do I gain? What do I gain?
Well, I can answer that. Not saying you have to buy the answer, but I can answer that. The satisfaction of putting a man in his place.
There's many ways to do that, but it's not our job.
What distinguishes a governed person from a person unable to govern their shit in moments of hostility?
Hostility, danger, so many different scenarios. I think there's ways that you can govern your shit.
There's always an alternative.
So I just think if you have the brain capacity to just have a faster thought process, to think of all the different alternatives or outcomes of what can come from any situation that you're in, it'll allow you to make a better decision.
You openly express your faith, and God bless you for it. What led you there?
I've always grew up in a church setting, but of course, like majority of people, we tend to disconnect at times because we get consumed with the earthly realm, the things that's we deal with on a day-to-day thing, but then we tend to forget again as we literally focus more on the purpose of His Word. Our lives completely change, and it's just nothing but an abundance of blessings and joy. So honestly, man, it's just glory to God.
One of the beautiful things about that video, that 1 minute, 2 minute video, 1 minute, 45 seconds, whatever it is your reaction. I think with those that I show the video to for their impression, the one commonality, they weren't focused on Yeager. They were focused on you. And it was cool to see that.
Yeah.
At that point, Yeager's ugliness, in many cases, was ignored.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's an asshole. And they set that aside and they talked about your responses and how you responded, how you said you would pray for them. And at the end, you kept talking. You were essentially discounting him. You were discounting him and what he said and move on with your life, and we don't have time for it. Is that how you address things? If you had Mr. Yeager's doppelganger, whatever that term is, doppelganger, if you had him and encountered him on the way home in a similar episode, would you react the same way?
I don't think it would change the scenario itself.
Yeah.
Because for one, you also got to think the setting itself. We're in the middle of a busy intersection, so to just stop a car in the middle of an intersection, busy intersection at that too, where cars are normally flying down, it just doesn't make logical sense. But then you also have to think about what happens after. Always just have to think about the consequences. Yeah. So I just care to live for see another day. I think that's more important than anything else, right? Be able to smile,
Absolutely.
laugh, and develop more wisdom.
And that gets under people's nerves as well.
Yeah, I got some more grades out of that, man. So it made me a little bit more wiser.
I don't want to hear anything about that. You could borrow some of mine. Tell you, I go to get my hair cut. I look at the ground. I'm like, I told you to, only clip the grays. There's a few dark hairs there. Why did you get rid of those? What would you like others to learn from your experience with Mr. Yeager?
The Holy Spirit, God, how that works. There's a lot of people who tend to always say, I believe in like a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you start to ask the right questions, then you'll start to help them realize the higher power that they believe in is God.
When you encounter people, we've talked about this, people will say, oh, I saw you. Tell us about the whites that apologize, because this makes me laugh.
Yeah. Let me get in character though. Let me get a sip of this water and do it correctly. Corporate voice. Hey, Sally. Hey, man. I just wanted to let you know, man. We're really sorry. What you sorry about? Oh, the video. Oh, it's cool. No. Listen, man. That guy's a fucking asshole, buddy. Okay, and we're really sorry. Who's we? You have a mouse in your pocket? No. Just if you never said it, it's okay. You ain't got nothing to be sorry about. Do you say it when you're not around? So it's
funny.
Yeah, but it's weird. I think most people have to realize. I think because we're in a sensitive era, that people tend to think that emotionally affected me, and now I'm going out in the world afraid that I'm driving and somebody's going to yell, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't change my color. Yeah, I don't, it's just, so yeah, I guess that's anything. I'm moving scared and afraid now. So yeah, guys.
What concerns you more, Mr. Yeager's racially motivated comments or his, we're going to call him alleged DUI?
I think both. Both are wrong actions, right? The fact that you knowingly are drinking and decide to get behind the wheel of your car. So you not only endanger yourself, but everybody else that's on the road at that particular time.
And we're not talking about 2:00 in the morning here.
Yeah, right. So it's 3:00 in the afternoon. So that's also, I think, you have people coming out of the schools, after school, so you have all different sorts of people on the road at that time. But then on top of that, the endangerment that he put himself into, because I never felt endangered, but he has to think about, if it wasn't me and somebody that has just no patience or just no care or no tolerance, as simple as that, yeah, it's a whole different ballgame there, right? So yeah, so I just also just think that that's what we can realistically learn, is we can de-escalate situations, or we could just escalate the situation, but we don't know how deep the escalation is going to go. If we de-escalate, it allows everybody to still live another day.
Let your mind wander. Imagine a worst case scenario with a less grounded target.
Mm-hmm.
What could have been that result if Mr. Yeager's comments escalated?
Shootout. somebody seriously harmed.
I'm afraid you're right.
Somebody is not involved being harmed, right? So
Yes.
there could have been an accident caused along the highway technically. So it's like, you have to think of all those scenarios. I also have siblings, nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, and things like that. Mother, father, friends, family members, close ones. That's it'll be a selfish act, I think, to react in any other manner, I think. So, but I don't think Yeager put himself in that situation. Who is has a family and things like that, own business. So you would think logically, I am my face of the business, so let me be smart enough to just shut the F up.
He didn't exactly protect the brand, did he?
He didn't really, at that moment in time, the brand or family wasn't even a care. That's why his actions ended up the way it did.
I had thought about that a few times. When he's sitting back after bailing out, bonding out, do his family and friends expect him to react this way, or is this out of character?
In most cases, I don't think it's out of character for actual family, immediate family, most definitely. It's around whoever's around him often. I think it's more embarrassing for them, especially if they're not the type to speak like that. And even if they do speak like that, if it's behind closed doors, whatever, who cares, right? People gonna say what they're gonna say behind closed doors. There's all sorts of conversations that's happening. But I think you also have to think about them, the places that they go, the people that they're around, and knowing that you are now a part of that because that's your family member or friend.
Talk about a legacy.
I don't think there ever was one. If there was one, then he would have made a smarter decision.
I concur. What is John Q. Public's responsibility or duty to de-escalate in conflicts where strangers aren't able to govern their shit? What is John Q. Public's responsibility? Understand, I'm sure you already have, most people aren't going to act like you.
No.
If you say that to most black men, I would pray that they would, but I don't think they're just going to brush it off. And as we've said earlier, if you say it to the wrong guy, man, you're going to get your head pounded. And we saw what that man looked like when he stepped out of the vehicle. It's not exactly a Hulk.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, his mental state is affected by some kind of chemical. And I don't think he's the drunken kung fu master.
No, not at all, man.
So
There's only been one.
That's a recipe to get your ass kicked in.
Yeah, most definitely. I think every person that you say that to is actually the wrong person. Right? But it's all about the action itself that happens after that. And how do you deal with that? The question is, if somebody did, or I did react to that, would he be able to withstand the heat or the pressure that was going to be coming his way?
I'm wondering.
So a lot of people have to think about that. So it's funny because you see some comments like, yeah, I don't know, that's some that you ain't do nothing. Cool.
Wow.
I think you, my friend, will be calling somebody a from the jail cells if the roles will switch, right? And now you are begging for forgiveness and freedom. Yes, we will feel remorseful if it did turn in that aspect because of, what caused you to get there. But then you got to ask yourself, still words.
Yeah, we're not talking self-defense here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you have to think and picture yourself in the entire complete scenario to really have a better understanding of it. But I think also the lack of knowledge. So not understanding that, hey, getting out the car, even if I did nothing, if I got in the car just to yell, I am now the aggressor. Even though we already see the act that's currently happened, but it's never the person who starts it that gets caught. It's always the person who ends it, right? So, yeah, I just decided to just make a wiser decision.
If you could put a one-sentence billboard on the highway for all drivers to see, to embed some wisdom, what would that sentence read?
I got a few.
It's got to be at least PG rated.
I got a few. Slow your ass down.
Slow your ass down.
Literally, just slow and pit butt cheeks. Literally.
So they can see the ass.
So they know that slow your ass down.
Right, right. Are we talking a festering ass or just an ass?
Nah, just an ass.
Okay.
Not Yeager's ass, but slow your ass down, right?
Not the ass.
Yeah, right? So slow your ass down. We had to keep it PG, honestly, people.
Oh, God.
Just think before reacting. because your reaction most of the times is going to end up in consequences. So yeah, I think that would probably be the best sentence I would leave for most people on the highway.
And if you don't govern that shit, you're going to spend the next couple of years squatting and coughing.
Having to really govern your ass.
Govern your.
Yeah.
You went there.
Sorry,
Whew.
yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think you want to do that.
No, you
Yeah.
definitely. Most people want to avoid that.
Yeah, but then I think there's an influx of the ones who say, hey.
I wonder if you could get pink brand name sneakers in prison.
Pink dildos for sure.
You're in rare form, right?
Think about it though, that would be a great Christmas gift to give to Mr. Yeager. Just wanted to just see how your mental state was doing and just wanted to remind you that you are still a pink.
Now, one of my colleagues would be upset if I didn't mention this. He was, but did not. He promised me he wouldn't. He was considering sending him a bag of dicks.
They would have to be pink though.
Pink dicks.
They would have had to be pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. But he did promise me he wouldn't send said bag of dicks. In fact, he said he even had a bag of dicks you can order, and you open up a can and you have dick confetti.
Damn, he'll be getting slapped all in the face with a bunch of.
I guess so, yeah.
It's not every day that happens to someone.
But if you do get slapped in the face by a bunch of dicks, I wonder if that might knock some sense into him.
Or make him a bigger dick.
Well, you are what you eat.
He'll be eating a lot of those.
Yeah. This interview kind of took a turn. The views expressed by our guests are not. Go throw out that disclaimer.
It is different.
It's awesome. Are you kidding? The chemistry is wonderful. It really is. Whew. Mr. Yeager's comments might be considered offensive, and I think rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope everyone can agree with that. What's the difference between calling somebody an asshole and using that damned hard R? Explain the reaction from your point of view. Something I could never understand.
I think anybody that's not black won't really understand it's the history of the word, how it was created, what it was actually utilized as or directed as or towards. Being part of that group, most people don't seem to realize culture. A lot of the things we have in this world today has been created by what some people perceive to be as, the ER. But then they also forget the aspect of how amazing people that look like me can be. Educational, business savvy, very kind-hearted, and a lot of people don't seem to realize too, we're actually not considerably violent people. If anything, we would always try to de-escalate a situation unless you pit the majority of us into a situation where we feel like our backs is against the wall.
Sure.
And if you think about any animal, think about a dog. If the dog was being abused more than enough times, what do you think the dog's gonna do at some point in time? It's gonna bite your ass right back.
And for the record, he wasn't put in that position.
None at all.
Not at all.
He tried to create a scenario that would do that, but again, it all determines the mindset and the mental state, I think, of where that particular individual is at that moment in time.
Right.
Right? Because if I was possibly in a depressed state, angry at the world, that's what better reason can you have right then and there than just take out your anger? So I think most people are commenting off of a sense of deep anger. And it's just easier to always just voice your opinion behind a screen. But if you're put in that scenario, what would you really do? So most people don't seem to realize, like horror films.
Mm-hmm.
You see somebody falling all the time. Most people don't realize that if you're running away from something, the very last thing you should ever do is look back. Do you know why? Your ass is going to fall. It don't matter if you're big, small, whatever it is. running this way and fully sprinting, your body is not capable of doing that because our eyes is a lot with our balance and direction. So yeah, so when you see horror movies, like, why do you always fall?
Start screaming at that person.
Yeah, people don't seem to realize. Go ahead, run full speed and look backwards at the same
Yeah. Oh,
time.
now just wait a second. She's gonna fall.
So
just hang on.
yeah,
There we
right?
go. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
so
Yeah.
people always say the things that they would do, but put them in that same scenario and then we'll forget what they're about.
Things they would do. Now, all that Mr. Yeager needed to do is drop the Yeager N-bomb, ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist, roll up your windows, enjoy your air conditioning, and get home without killing somebody.
Yeah.
Assuming, as is alleged, he was intoxicated driving. We're going to let the courts figure that out. Once more, I want to remind everybody. Mike, why don't you remind everybody this time? Doxing, harassing, and intimidating.
Oh, it's never needed. I think in any scenario, I think too many people take things too personal or take things too far or too far out of context. People make mistakes. People are going to say things. It's part of the human life, right? It's focusing on, cool, I made this mistake. Let's try to do things to not repeat the same thing again. And if it continues to keep repeating, it's either two things that the person either really just don't care or just lack the understanding of what it takes to change. So, I think we always have to give grace and mercy to anyone for, depending on what it is. It's, I don't condone murder and things like that, though. So it's not something I'm just going, oh yeah, forgive this person for that. Hell no. You get what your ass deserve. But I think as far as something related to words, racial slurs, it's going to happen. I'm sure it happened to somebody else somewhere else in the world and just wasn't captured on camera, I think. So I think we just have to really just start to think about how can we just be kinder to somebody that just looks different. That's it.
And think different. We're reminded of Charlie Kirk. All that he was doing was talking.
Yeah.
And he was
Whether you like what he's saying or not, it's no need to harm anybody in that. It's just words. Everybody, if you don't like something, you don't have to listen to it, right? It's like the radio. Before we had the option to actually listen to whatever we wanted to play, search whatever song it is, you had to listen to the radio. And if it's something that was played on the radio, what did you do? Change it?
Change it off.
Or just turn it off?
Do they even have dials anymore? Yeah.
Yeah, but most people forget. It's like even if you think about content, for instance, this video technically, this podcast right now, there's going to be several bad apples that decide, oh, I don't like this podcast or what they're saying, so I'm just going to say what I want to say. That's cool. Your freedom of speech. But why say something negative when you could say nothing at all?
And
Keep your goddamn feelings to yourself. Nobody really cares about your opinion in that aspect. I think a lot of people have this main character syndrome. Like their words matter more than anybody else's.
Right. They are the main character in their own story.
Yeah.
Not understanding your own story ends with your nose.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you're no longer the main character.
But people should always find some way to do it.
There's always somebody that literally thinks the world revolves around them, and as you said, they are the main character.
Yeah.
Any last parting words, sir? Besides the fact that
you that's it, bro. That's it.
Oh, it's on?
Huh?
It's on now? Is that it?
No, he's done. He's fired.
Really?
He's fired. This guy's fired. You guys don't seem to understand that this guy here has had plenty of opportunities to be great. And what did you decide to do?
He's so damn lazy. He really is.
At the end of the day, this is what I think he worked a 9 to 5, had a hard shift.
Well, everyone today except me is exhausted.
Apparently so.
And I'm sure the tripod is no exception to that.
Burnt out there, buddy, huh? All right. Stand tall for the rest of the interview. All right, my man.
Mike, we have something for you. Let me first say to Mr. Yeager, sir, it doesn't mean shit to you. We're not going to pretend it does. It has no bearing on anything in reality. But you have been inducted onto this podcast's baneful order of the silver skid mark. You shit yourself so hard, you've been inducted to that order. Now, you can undo that. You can undouche yourself. You really can undouche yourself, but you got to do it here. Okay, you can go out in public and say what you want. You don't get out of that baneful order of the silver skid mark without coming into the studio. Mr. Yeager, you got to govern your shit. You got to clean up your optics because they suck ass. And big surprise, you'd be surprised how many phones there are in prisons and how many people are fully aware of what's going on here. And that shit doesn't fly there, I'm certain. Now, Mike, for you, it's the opposite of the baneful order. You have been awarded the very first Crapcademy Award for excellence in excellence in shit governance. Okay, so here we are, Governor Mike Salley. Now we all know he's not an elected governor, but just like the presidency, you can be president of something else. He is governor because he governs his shit. Mike Salley, Crapcademy Award for excellence in shit governance. Sir, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And it's even signed by Professor Quinn, the cartoon owl.
Oh man!
Don't
Mr.
ask me
Quinn,
how we
thank
did that. That's high tech stuff.
This is really good stuff here, man. Shout outs to Mr. Yeager, brother. Without you, this wouldn't be possible.
This wouldn't be possible.
You know.
Yes,
so.
you haven't just been nominated. You've actually been chosen. Parting words, sir. Final words. They're yours.
Very simple, guys. My parting words is just gonna be before I have to fight this guy, Mike. You see, right now,
it's that camera over there.
I'm gonna let y'all guys know something right now, beautiful people. Me and this mic, we've been at it all day, but it's a good mic. It's a great mic. The only thing about it is, in life, some of us slack, and the more you're around slackers, the more you'll start to be pulled down and slack yourself in life. But the same way I decided to govern my shit with Mr. Yeager, I decided to govern my shit with this mic. But when I get off this goddamn, no, I'm joking. So no, but realistically, guys, just be thankful for every day that you get to wake up and see another day. Like, you people just don't seem to understand the blessing. We don't wake ourselves up. He does. That basically means we still have purpose. We still have life. We still have opportunity. If we haven't been doing things in life that is positive, then we still have an opportunity to, possibly find our ways into those golden gates. So I just think people just need to find another way to understand what being a Christian is. And it's not in that aspect, and not only religion aspect, but just being a better disciple, being a better human being. Just find something to believe in. But if you could develop that relationship with God, you'll have a better understanding of how you can be better in this world today. So I just want to say thank you, Heavenly Father, for the blessings of allowing us to see you today, having the opportunity to be on particular podcasts and platforms such as this with Govern Your Shit, with our host Lex, the team, and I just appreciate the abundance of blessings that's going to be brought to our lives and everybody's lives that is watching today. So in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.